Friedrich Nietzsche was a German philosopher known for his radical ideas on individuality, power, and self-overcoming. He had a unique perspective on attractiveness, one that relates to self-identity and personal power. According to Nietzsche, what makes us attractive is not just about physical appearance, but about the kind of person we are and how we express ourselves in the world. But what if everything you've been told about attraction is a lie? What if the very act of chasing, of trying to prove your worth, of molding yourself into what you think others desire, is the very force that repels what you seek? Imagine a world where the most magnetic individuals are not the ones who seek validation, but those who are utterly consumed by a purpose so grand, it renders them indifferent to the opinions of the crowd. This is the unsettling paradox Nietzsche presents. The desperate hunger for connection is the very scent of need that drives it away. You can smell it on a person, can't you? The subtle anxiety, the curated persona, the quiet plea for acceptance, hidden behind a confident facade. It's a vibration that pushes the world away. Now, feel the weight of the alternative. What if you could become so self-contained, so driven by an internal fire, that your presence alone became a gravitational pull? This is not about techniques or manipulation. It is about a fundamental shift in being. The chase is a confession of lack. But what then is the alternative? How do you build a soul that doesn't ask, but commands? The answer lies not in a set of rules, but in a terrifying act of self-creation. It begins by shattering a mirror you didn't even know you were staring into. If these ideas resonate with you, subscribe to continue this journey into the depths of power and self-mastery. This hunger for external validation is not your fault. It is a phantom pain, a deep psychological wound carved by forces you never consented to. Carl Jung would call it a loss of the self, a capitulation to the collective persona. We are born into a world that functions as a vast marketplace of approval, a system designed to profit from your insecurity. From childhood, you are graded, ranked, and compared. You learn to perform, to seek the gold star, the likes, the approving glance. This conditioning runs so deep, it becomes your inner voice. You begin to see yourself not as you are, but as a collection of flaws to be fixed for an unseen jury. This is the hidden problem. You have been taught to look for your reflection in the eyes of others, and in doing so, you have forgotten your own face. Your identity becomes a fragile sculpture, constantly reshaped by every gust of opinion, terrified of a critical wind that might shatter it. This is the soul of the chaser, not a person of lack, but a person hypnotized into believing they are lacking. Society fears the self-possessed individual, the one who draws their worth from an internal well. Why? Because they cannot be controlled. They cannot be sold to. So the system perpetuates the lie that you are incomplete, that you must chase to become whole. But this external seeking is a bottomless pit. The more you feed it, the deeper it grows. And the consequence of this endless hunger is a silent spiritual death that masquerades as a normal life. What is the true cost of living for an applause that never truly comes? Let us know in the comments. Have you ever felt the weight of your own need to chase? And what did it reveal to you? The unseen consequence of this chase is a life lived in a phantom zone, a hall of mirrors where every reflection is a distortion. You become a ghost in your own story. Cognitive science reveals our brains are wired for social validation. It's a survival mechanism. But when hijacked by this conditioning, it creates a neurological prison. Every post waiting for likes, every conversation strained for approval, every silent moment filled with the anxiety of not being enough. This is the architecture of your cage. Each act of chasing strengthens the neural pathways of neediness, solidifying your identity as a supplicant. This is what Nietzsche called the herd instinct, the slow, voluntary sacrifice of your unique potential on the altar of belonging. The consequence is not merely a lack of attraction, but a profound erosion of your life force. Your creativity is stifled, your voice muted, your most daring ideas abandoned before they can breathe, all for the fear of disrupting the fragile approval you work so hard to maintain. You trade the terrifying freedom of selfhood for the comfortable chains of the collective. You become predictable, safe, and ultimately invisible. Your relationships become transactions, bartering pieces of your soul for crumbs of external validation. This is the silent spiritual atrophy. You are not being rejected by others. You are watching yourself disappear. And the world, sensing this void where a person should be, simply turns away. But what if this emptiness is not an end, but a beginning? What if the very awareness of this cage is the first crucial crack in its walls? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next step in breaking free from the invisible chains that bind you. The rebellion begins not with an action, but with a ruthless shift in perspective. You must stop seeing yourself as a supplicant at the world's table and become the master of your own feast. This is the radical inversion Nietzsche called becoming who you are. It is not about building a new, more impressive facade to attract others. It is about annihilating the facade altogether. The rebellion is to channel that desperate energy you once spent on chasing and turn it inward with a terrifying focus. Your mission is to find your own highest value, your passion, your craft, your unique vision of the world, and to pursue it with a ferocity that borders on obsession. This is what the world mistakes for arrogance, but is in fact the highest form of humility, bowing to a law you have given yourself. Attraction is not a target to be hit. It is a magnetic field generated by a soul in alignment. When you are consumed by a purpose grander than social validation, your need for approval withers. Your posture changes. Your voice finds its natural resonance. Your eyes stop seeking and begin to see. You become a source, not a drain. This is the counterintuitive heart of the rebellion. To attract everything you were chasing, you must become utterly indifferent to it. You must fall in love with the sound of your own hammer striking the stone, more than with the applause of the crowd. This is how you reclaim your power. You cease to be a reflection and become the light itself. But this raises the final, most terrifying question. What is the ultimate cost of this radiant, self-possessed freedom? If this perspective shifted something within you, like this video and share your most important insight in the comments below. The ultimate truth is this: the power of attractiveness is not a tool for connection, but the radiant byproduct of a life lived in total, unnegotiated sovereignty. Nietzsche's final realization was that this journey of self-overcoming leads to the Bermensch, not a superior being, but one who has overcome their own need for external justification. You were never meant to be a planet, orbiting the sun of another's approval, your light merely a reflection. You were meant to be a sun yourself, a cosmic source of gravity and light. This is the paradigm shift. True magnetism is the sound of a soul that has made peace with its own solitude. It is the profound, unshakable integrity that comes from having chosen your own values, your own path, and your own burdens, regardless of who follows or approves. The world, in its desperate chase, mistakes this for coldness, for ego. But it is the opposite. It is the only solid ground from which genuine connection can ever grow. The chaser builds on sand, forever shifting. You have chosen the mountain, and from this vantage point, the entire struggle snaps into a heartbreaking, beautiful clarity. The chase was never about them. It was always about you, your avoidance of the terrifying responsibility of crafting a self so complete it needed no one. To stop chasing is not to reject the world, but to finally offer it something real. It is to look into the abyss of your own freedom and not blink. And in that unwavering gaze, you will find not what you are looking for, but what was always, inevitably, looking for you. The path to self-overcoming is walked together. Subscribe to join a community dedicated to uncovering these powerful truths. If you've enjoyed this dive into Nietzsche's philosophy, I'd love to hear your thoughts on attractiveness in the comments. What do you think makes someone attractive? Do you think societal standards play a role, or is it something more individual? Let me know, and be sure to check out my other videos on philosophy.